Hi, thanks for watching. Now, I know there are many different ways to generate new customer leads for your business, but what I want to show you in this video is how you can do it through your own website for free. Well, at whatever it costs to keep your website up. Now, this way, not only are you building your own brand, but these leads are coming exclusively to you and no other business, unlike a lot of third-party sites like Angie's and HomeAdvisor. I'm also going to show you the amount of traffic and leads coming to the top competitors in the area so you can see how much you could be getting. So for comparison, what I've done is a quick search for both mold remediation and demolition. And I just take the top ranking websites in each of those categories as well as your own. And then I put them all into this tool that I use. And it shows me all the information that Google finds on your site that it uses to determine your position in search results, and then ranks its strength and trust on a scale of 1 to 100. So you can see just briefly looking at some of these numbers, why these businesses are outranking yours on the first page. But let me briefly go through what these numbers mean. So as we go through your site, you can see what changes can be made and how they'll affect its ranking. So when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two different factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. Now, this basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other domains or websites refer back to yours and then they create a link called a backlink. Google uses this as an endorsement and to build that trust because others are vouching for you. So for instance, if say local Channel 10 News did an article on their website and it said maybe the best 10 the top 10 best mold remediation or demolition companies in Rhode Island. And in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website. That's considered one backlink. Now, these types of backlinks can come from many different forms: blog or guest posts, editorials, press releases. One very strong and important type is what's called a citation. Now, that's any time that your name, address, and phone number appear in an online directory. Those include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau is a great one. These are usually always free. It just takes some time for you to find them, register your business, and then input the information exactly as it's shown in Google. So as you can see, based on the number of websites and the number of links that these other companies have created, why Google is trusting them over your site. You can also see that there's a difference in quantity based on the competition for whatever that service industry is. It varies from different industry. But just something to note here is it's not just a matter of the sheer quantity of these links. Quality has a lot to do with it as well. So we need to make sure that we're linking to sites that are trustworthy inside the United States and then also relative to your service industry so they can transfer that trust through the link to yours. Now, the second factor for ranking on the search results is your content on your page. So as you can see here, you're being picked up for about 6 different keywords. These are all the keywords and phrases that are being typed into Google search that Google is finding on your site. And then it's also showing the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where we do a little bit of market research and keyword research to just try to find the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer in the area that you want to service to make sure that those are being included on the site. You can also see here the position, the number in Google search that you're coming up with. So for instance, this is obviously a company name, but Mold Remediation Rhode Island. That's being searched 150 times per month. Right now, you're in the 80th position, which is going to put you either on the 8th or 9th page of Google search. If you were on the first page, these 150 people a month would be seeing your website. Google Analytics estimates that 10% of total search volume converts into a lead. So you'll be looking at about 15 people per month contacting you either directly through calling or form submitting through the email. Obviously, the scope of the job and the profit margins vary from job to job, but you can just see how the sheer volume of leads coming in can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. And that's just for one keyword phrase. So then we'll repeat that same process for all high volume keywords, making sure that those are being included on your site. However, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords on your site. So let's take a look here. As far as the layout, everything looks great. We've got the call button right at the top, which it does appear to be mobile optimized, which is fantastic because the majority of people are searching on a mobile device nowadays. We've got all the information, menus, and everything right at the top. Great picture. What I would probably suggest here is we just need to add a little bit more content itself, meaning the words. Google can't really understand pictures. there is a way to tag these pictures. This is what Google is seeing. It doesn't know what the picture is, it's just seeing the file name. So there are ways to tag it. It's called alt tagging, so you can cue Google under what this means. That helps out a little bit as well. But the biggest thing is, because it's a computer, Google is basically just going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, generally, as a rule of thumb, we say you want to have about a minimum of anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 words on a page. But realistically, it's just more information than whoever the competitors are on their page as well. The reason being is that the more information you have on the page, the more of an expert that Google feels you are in your field, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. Now, while it's counting all these keywords, while it's counting all the content, it's searching for the keywords. So those are going to be any of the services that you offer and then the areas you want to offer them in. However, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play, because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for every about 125 to 150 words of text. So the more keywords that you want to be found for, whether it's a service or a location, the more information you have to add to the page. And then furthermore, Google's have been continuously updating their algorithm. They really want to be providing quality search results. So if you want to be found for a keyword, the 125 to 150 words of content really has to describe and support this keyword in order to qualify it. So if you're talking about mold remediation in Rhode Island, you need to be specifically talking about something to do with Rhode Island, whether it's certain cities or towns, and then giving some information on mold remediation. Same thing with demolition or whatever kind of keyword you're trying to be found for. It has to directly describe that particular keyword in detail. So if we could just go back to the search results, the first thing that's going to come up is what we call the map pack. This has nothing to do with your website. This is your Google business profile if you don't have one. They are free. There are ways to optimize that, so you can try to show up in these top three. Just gives you a little bit more traffic, because this will come up at the top of the page every time. It is a little bit location based, so obviously somebody that's searching from Boston might not see you in this list. However, if you want to try to get inside here, your business description, you're allowed 750 characters. Usually you want to add a few keywords in there as well. Make sure you fill out all the information as possible, so your address information, even hours of operation. Then Google really rewards activity. So you want to be posting to this profile on a regular basis with updates, but you also want to add as many photos as you can, so you have more photos in here than anybody else. These photos, we really recommend to have them geotagged, meaning they have a location attached to them, so that way Google can understand your service area. And then you want to get as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. You want to appear in more directories than anybody else on this list. Then underneath that, this is what we call the organic search results. Now, this is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list you're going to rank. So that way you can come off of, say, like the 80th position where you're at for that keyword and get here to the first page. So that way you can capture all that search traffic and all those leads coming directly to your business. Now, I hope this information was helpful and just shows you how you can scale some of your online presence directly through your website. But please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You want me to go into any further details? We could talk about some of the goals for the business, and then I could do some research to find out what it would take for you to reach those. But I always appreciate just getting some feedback too on if this information was useful. So please do let me know what you thought. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.